everyone, welcome back to my summer edit. If you just joined me from the previous video, you should have just seen my makeup, nails and fragrance picks for summer, and now I'm going to talk all about my skincare, hair care and body care picks. So it's not like I need any excuse to talk about skincare, but when summer comes around there's a few things that I like to incorporate into my routine just to keep my skin kind of normal, you know, compensate for the weather and the heat and all sorts of things that are going on. So probably the most important thing to put on your skin during summer is a good SPF. Although I try to do it all year round, try to keep my skin protected for, you know, as long a time as I can, it is summer when you've got those really kind of hot, you know, summer sun rays that are really going to damage your skin. I do like to go for a factor 50, and my favourite of those is the Kiehls Ultralight Daily UV Defense SPF 50, and it's quite hard to find a high factor that isn't really thick and, you know, really white and greasy, but this literally feels like a very lightweight moisturiser. So sometimes I use it just on its own, but you know, I could get away with using a moisturiser and this and it still doesn't make my skin feel too greasy or heavy. If you are looking for something that is a little bit less of a SPF factor and that has a more of a matte finish, the Bioderma Photoderm Matte SPF 30 is really great as well, because it literally has, you know, a very, not powdery, but a very matte texture. It almost feels like a primer, so I can put this on, let it dry for about a minute or so, and it feels like it's gone. It feels like it's really mattified and it's made my skin ready for makeup. But again, it's got your protection in, but it's not going to be as heavy as a 50 if you still want to get a little bit of colour in your skin. Now, even if I do use the sun protection, my skin can get a little bit sore, a little bit irritated by the sun. It can feel just a bit dry and dehydrated, like it needs a bit of a boost. And I've been using a really great serum at the moment. This is from Elemental Herbology and it's called their Cell Food. It has a really light texture to it. You can't really feel it on the skin. It is just a serum that sinks straight in, but it's got a real kind of renewing quality to it. So I feel when I use this, my skin just feels like it's soothed and it's nourished and it's got all the vitamins and nutrients put back into it. So it's just a really great revitalising treatment. I do find also that my skin can get slightly clogged up because I'm using more skincare to kind of compensate for the weather. It can get a little bit, you know, congested, and I just need something to really cleanse that. This is the Antipodes or Manuka Honey Mask, and it's great because it is a really deep cleansing mask. You feel like your skin is being, you know, really cleansed from deep down. The pores are being, you know, washed out and cleared, but it's still quite moisturising and it's still quite nourishing too, so it's not something that leaves your skin really tight and dehydrated and, you know, completely stripped. It's going to cleanse it really well, but it's not going to leave it feeling, you know, damaged at all. My last two skincare products link quite nicely into the next category, which I shall reveal shortly, but these are both self-tanning products for the face, and they're both from Clarins as well. I do really trust Clarins when it comes to fake tan. I think different brands can be slightly different. Your skin is more than likely to react to a tan than most other skincare products, so especially when it comes to using things on the face, I like to use something that I know I can be safe with. So these are just really gentle, haven't ever irritated my skin or broken it out. So I kind of use these in a day and night rotation when I want to have a little bit of colour in my skin. And this is the Liquid Bronze Self-Tanning. It's kind of like a very lightweight lotion, and I use this in the evenings after my skincare routine, before using moisturiser or anything. I kind of just use this instead of a moisturiser, and I just put a thin layer of it all over and then go to bed, and you just kind of wake up with a nice natural glow. I'd say, although it's just a regular tanner, it does kind of turn out more of a gradual one, so you don't get an instant really dark look, but it's nice because you can just build up a nice bit of colour with this one. And then this one I've been using in the mornings, it's the Instant Smooth Self-Tanning, and it's basically a really kind of like matte silky texture. It's almost like their Instant Smooth Primer. I guess it's the same kind of formula within it. You can use this under makeup or just alone. I tend to use it more under makeup throughout the day, and it just goes on very smoothly. It helps your makeup go on really nicely as well, but you'll just get a bit of colour throughout the day, so it kind of develops after a couple of hours, and then once you've washed all your makeup off, you've got a nice tan underneath. So those two together are a really great combination for, you know, a morning and an evening facial tanner. So moving on to the second category, and this is all the body products that I use a lot in summer, and I have a few tan products here. My favourite one is probably a Tropez Gradual Tan. This is just the everyday moisturiser. It's for medium to dark. I always tend to go for the darker tanners because I feel they just work a bit quicker. Even though I am, you know, fair skinned, these ones just, you know, you have quicker results with them. This is lovely because it goes on really well. It doesn't streak, it doesn't leave any blotches or anything, doesn't cling to dry patches because it is really moisturising. But it just really builds up a nice colour. I think the Tropez range has a really great colour to it. It's not too orangey, it's not too like browny, it's just got a really nice like golden colour. If I do want something a bit more intense, if I know I'm going out the next day and I want to be really bronzed up, I love using the Fake Bake Mousse. I think Fake Bake as well are a really good brand. I find that with their products they just don't smell at all. They've got a 60-minute one that I used to use. I don't have it anymore, so I couldn't feature it in this video. But you basically put it on and you're tanned within within an hour, so that's really great for people that don't like wearing fake tan for too long. This one though is the mousse, and I do prefer a mousse formula when I'm kind of like going to bed, just because I find it dries down and you don't get any smudging or streaking. Sometimes if you're wearing a lotion and you've got pyjamas on, you can wake up with like, you know, clothes imprints all over your legs, so it just doesn't work out too well. But this one just dries down and you just don't get any kind of unevenness, any patches, and it's got a really nice colour to it. So if you're after a bit of colour but you don't want the commitment of a proper fake tan, I think the Rimmel Sun Shimmer ranges are really, really good. They're basically just wash off tan, so you can have the colour but then you can wash it off at the end of the day. You don't have to worry about it, you know, being on there for too long, fading away. I remember using these back in school and college, and I had horrific memories of them like staining and being really glittery and just getting everywhere and looking awful. But they've had some new formulas come out. This is the water resistant formula, and it's actually in a matte, so it has no shimmer to it, and it really stays on, so it looks very natural. I actually use this just on a normal tanning mitt and buff it into the skin, and it just looks like you've got a really nice tan. The great thing about it being water resistant too is if you are in an English summer, which can be prone to the occasional downpour, you don't have to worry about drips or running or anything like that at all. So the next two products are from Skin Doctors, and they're kind of quite interesting. They're not the usual thing I would think of using in summer, but they're actually really handy. The first one's called Hair No More, and it's basically a growth inhibitor spray, and you spray this on after you've shaved or waxed your legs, and it just stops the hair from coming back as quickly. It doesn't get rid of it altogether, but it stops you having to kind of do that as often, which is really, really handy. And also they have one called InGrow Go, which gets rid of ingrown hair, and now this is amazing because I always get little red bumps over my knees and like the back of my calves, and you just smooth this over again after you've waxed or shaved, and it basically gets rid of them. You don't get any ingrown hairs, no red bumps, and your legs just look pretty much perfect. So these are really great products. So if you want to invest a little bit more into like your legs and your skincare, these are really great ones to pick up. So a body care section would be nowhere without some good body lotions, and I do find that I struggle to find good ones in the summer, because if they're too heavy, if they're too like thick and buttery, they can just feel, you know, really horrible on the skin. They can feel clogging and just not what you want on your skin in the heat. So I found two products that are really, really great if you don't like the feeling of a heavy cream on your skin. And the first one is the Vaseline Spray and Go Body Moisturiser. I think these are quite new. There's 3 different colours, 3 different scents, and this is the cocoa butter one, but I think they have aloe vera and just the regular Vaseline smell. They're basically just really, really light moisturiser in an aerosol can, so you can just spray it out all over. It doesn't stop. It's like a continuous spray, and then just like pat it in or rub it in or let it sink in on its own. And they feel just weightless. You can't even feel them on the skin, but you know that your body's been moisturised because you can feel that it's very supple and very firm and plumped, exactly what you want from a moisturiser. So these are great. I definitely recommend picking one up. I also really like the Organic Surge Freshation Body Lotion, which has a really, really lovely scent to it. I'm actually addicted to the smell of this. It's basically kind of lemony and fresh. I think it's got lemongrass and a few essential oils in it, and it's just really uplifting and refreshing, and it's a great way to start the day. But again, it's just very light. You can't even feel it on the skin once it's sunk in. Just a really great way to get a bit of moisture but without feeling like you're wearing anything. So last of all, the hair care category, and these 3 products were always going to be mentioned in it, so I'm just going to get them out of the way to begin with. And they're the Bumble and Bumble Surf range. So you've got the Surf Spray here, the Surf Shampoo and the Surf Conditioner, and these basically give you the beachy waves, you know, the nice tousled salt spray look, like you've just walked out of the sea. I think these two together, the shampoo and the spray, are a real kind of wonder combination. They work together to give you the most amazing texture to your hair. It kind of feels like you've got second day hair, so once you've washed it, normally it can feel a bit limp and a bit flat, but then the next day it's got a bit more hold and grip to it, and that's exactly what these do. They just give you that on the first day of washing it. The one problem I do have with them, and it pains me to say it, is that they can be very, very drying for your hair, especially if you have quite dry and damaged hair like I do. I have quite brittle ends, so I find I need to use something quite moisturising to compensate for that. And I've got 2 things here, one from Bumble and Bumble again. I think they are just amazing, amazing for hair products. This is their Deep Mask, and it's a really, really intense, nourishing treatment mask. You put it on for 20 minutes after you shampoo, and then you put additional conditioner if you want to. You don't have to, you can just use this on its own. I didn't find that it gave an instant effect. I had to use it a couple of times before I noticed that it was really helping my hair, but you know, after 3 or 4 washes of using it, it really did help compensate for the dehydration that this was causing. But it still gives you, you know, a good beachy wave if you use them together. It doesn't kind of take away all the texture when you use this one as well. I do also like to supplement that every single time I wash my hair with a good kind of oil treatment, and this is the Moroccan oil. It's the only one that I really love. I think it's probably the best oil treatment for my hair anyway. I don't know about other people. I think different hair types obviously suit different products, but this one for me really works, and it just gives my hair back that elasticity and like that shine, and just, you know, it feels like it's repaired, like it never had split ends, like it was never damaged. So I think something like this is an essential, especially in the heat when your hair, you know, does get a little bit frazzled, a little bit dehydrated, and then if you're using other products like heat tools, if you're using kind of shampoos that can be slightly drying, I think using this afterwards is just always going to put it back to how it should be. So these are really great to have. So that is the end of my summer edit. Those are all the products that I've been incorporating into my routine over the last couple of weeks and will continue to use until the sun goes away. I hope you enjoyed those 2 videos. Thanks for watching both of them. If you did, it really means a lot to me, and I will see you all soon in my next video.